again. So we're going to kind of back up this a little bit. So, okay. So once again, say that one more time, Joe. So we just started.
It was a one-time only, Travis. Sorry if you didn't get it on the recording. Make sure you guys are in Salt Lake City. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's been an amazing time. I think I told a lot of you guys, and this is for the recording guys, I'm just repeating it. If you guys were out in Barcelona in October with me, I told you, give me the rest of the year. I was going to go to work. At that time, our back office was a little bit struggling along, Travis, if you remember that. We did an upgrade at the beginning of November. I'm not saying the system is perfect yet, but we've, I believe, fixed a lot of the Band-Aid issues that we've had. The system's running a lot smoother, and that goes to show in the month of November was our biggest month yet. We did a little bit over $43 million in sales, and we're right now year to date sitting at about 185, almost 186 million in revenue. So it looks like we could potentially break the 200 million mark this year before the end of the year, because we have, like you said, 23-ish days left. And I think every one of those days is a business day for me through the rest of the year. So
I love it. Well, I know your wife well enough to know that if you're working on Christmas, buddy, you're going to be in trouble. So but we'll be, I'm sure we'll be still texting a little bit here and there, right? So yes. Listen, today, guys, we first of all have the big reveal. We're going to be sharing something with you today that is just kind of a little bit of a sneak peek, and it's a precursor to things to come in 2023. But I'm going to make you guys wait a little bit to see that video. So you got to stick with us here. We don't plan on doing a very long call today, but we've got a few announcements and things that we want to cover. So first of all, number one, been getting a lot of people asking me when their debt licenses are going to be activated. So a friendly reminder, it was a pre-sale, right, Joe? It was a pre-sale. So what should they expect on the debt licenses?
I believe the day that it would actually start mining, and forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but it's January 4th. I think it's the first business day of the new year. So it could be January 1st. So if it's January 1st, great, but I believe it's January 4th is what we've been telling everybody. And that's just because debt launched a pre-sale, and then we got a lot of people on the IX side that were like, well, we want them. And I think we even had a few people from the IX side go directly to debt and purchase them. So we kind of scrambled and put our pre-sale together. And Travis, I told you when we were launching our pre-sale, one of the things that I don't like is, collecting money and then having people wait over 30 days for their mining to start. And I wanted to just kind of wait a little bit, but I think a lot of people wanted to lock in their license, and we did a special promo and stuff like that. So right now, just look at it. You have about January 4th. So you're under 30 days right now, and you'll start mining.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this debt license for just a moment. So, only 1,000 were released on the wholesale side. There's only 35,000 licenses that have ever been or will ever be issued on this particular license. I believe my understanding is there's 15,000 left. They're going to do 5,000 per year over the next 3 years, of which only 1,000 are going to come our way. Are those numbers correct?
Yes. Yep.
And so what's so unique about the debt license? I mean, we still have some available. We've got a lot of interest, a lot of people that jumped on that opportunity to pre-order for January. Why would I want to consider buying one of these licenses?
It's kind of like the VIP pass. That's the way I like to consider it, right? If you have a debt license, you get early access, and you will get early access on pricing throughout different projects that are available throughout the year. So you'll be able to get front of the line access, if you will, on the new projects that are launching through debt. So those are some great benefits there. Us inside of IX, what we'll be doing is we'll be holding a debt license holder events and Zooms and update calls, and I'll be giving all of that information, all the pre-public information to all the debt license holders first. So we'll create a little club out of it. But for me, more than anything, it is the central token for the ecosystem. It is what provides all the liquidity for all the other projects. As of right now, debt's listed on 4 different exchanges, and I do feel as debt is the first token to get listed on Binance, it'll probably be the first one to see some pretty decent growth. Travis, you and I were talking about, the Binance pop. What is the reality of it in the bear market today? Previously in 2017, 2018, when you got listed on Binance, it was thousands of percents, an increase in 50,000% that some tokens saw. But right now it could be ranging from 100 to 200% increase, and or lower. We don't ever really know, right? This is all speculation at this point. But I do feel that having that debt license will allow you to have liquidity into the projects. It'll allow you early access into the other projects at special pricing. It'll allow you VIP access into some of the IX Global information that we get throughout the year. So there's just some extra benefits besides obviously mining of the token.
Yeah, and there's only 50 million tokens, which is interesting in that particular environment. People don't realize that every time that we launch a new project, we have to pull from that 50 million essentially to support this new project, to come up with the new liquidity pools. And so we're, every single project is paired to the debt token. Another really interesting fact that I didn't know about, Jason just mentioned this to me recently, is the debt token has zero tax to withdraw, zero tax to transfer, and is used in every swap in the app function. Yep. So you're not taxed on that particular project as well. It's also important to point out it's gone from 0.01 when it launched to approximately $10.50 is where it's sitting at today inside of 1 year. So yeah, if you don't have a debt license and you want to be a part of owning, the whole master token license that supports this community, we still have some of those available.
And one of the things, and this is just my strategy, Travis, so I'm going to kind of offer this out there to people. This is what I do personally. I'm not offering financial advice, but this is what I do, is I actually take from a lot of the token, because a lot of people right now, they don't have the ability to mine debt, IX users, right? Because it was sold out before IX was able to get involved. Now, obviously, we have the pre-sale going on. But throughout the year, what I've done is I've taken my NatG holdings that I've mined, my XPLR, my aluminum, and I've taken a percentage of them and I've gone into debt. Instead of going into USDT, I've gone into debt. And why did I do that? Because I personally feel debt has some upside potential over the course of the next 12, 24, 36 months, that it could increase 20%, 80%, 100%, 200% over the course of that time. And so I went into debt accumulation mode at the beginning of the year. Right now, I think I hold about 30,000 debt tokens because that's what I've been trying to do, because I figured, hey, if I can have 50,000 tokens, that's my goal. 50,000 tokens. And then you start playing the math, right? You start saying, okay, right now it's $10, but what if it gets back up to the high, which it was at $23, right? And then what if it then goes on some of the projected Binance runs where that could potentially put us up to about $45? Again, this is all speculation. This is all math that I'm doing inside of my head. But I said, wow, how much would I have loved to have, Bitcoin at $10? And sometimes you just have to take the risk in holding in it. But I believe, because it is, like you said, it is used in every swap function, there's liquidity. If you go and look at the liquidity pool, it's about $8.4 million in USDT liquidity. And so there's a lot of liquidity in there. It's listed on centralized exchanges. You can get out to USDT, you get out to Bitcoin or Ethereum pretty quickly, where there's even more liquidity in the crypto market. So for me, that is the coin that I want to be holding. And I want to be taking a percentage of my mining proceeds from whether it's NatG or aluminum or Grow or whatever, and putting that into debt. Whether you have a debt mining license or not, obviously, the problem with that is then if my NatG then goes back up to a penny, I'm going to be missing out on a lot, right? So there's a risk that I'm taking on some potential upside on NatG. But since I didn't have a mining license, that was another way for me to start accumulating debt token with my other token projects.
I love it. Well, if you want to acquire one of these licenses, if you want to join the IX Global VIP Founders Debt Club, that's just my name for it, right? If you want to be part of that club, those licenses and the SKUs are now available in the back office. Let's talk a little bit about rentals for a moment. So let's talk about, earlier in the week, we had some BGLD rentals, and those went quick.
Yeah, I actually the BGLD rentals, we just turned them on this morning again.
There you go.
Because we're already reaching the end of the 30-day cycle from the last batch. So we do have a couple thousand becoming available, like 500 today, 700 the next day. So we are putting them live because there might be a 24 to 48 hour waiting period from where they expire from the last batch and come into the new batch. But we do have those becoming available because we're at the end of that 30-day cycle. So yeah, those
And
are
if you're
currently live in your back office. Go buy them if you want them.
And if you're have been under a rock like me and apparently missed that the BGLD rentals went from 20 days back to 30 days like a month ago, I created a little bit of chaos in the debt info group yesterday. Everybody was coming at me and I'm like, hang on a second, let me go verify this. So I apologize for creating a little bit of concern for a few of you, but it is 30 days. And, a lot of people talk, Joe, about they start doing the math and they're like, okay, 30 days, this is where it's at. I mean, am I making money? I try to help people to understand that we are in an accumulation phase right now in this industry. It's all about the decisions you make, the coins that you accumulate at this time have the potential to be able to help you build true wealth in the next bull run and in the next 1 to 2, 3 years as the tokenomics continue to kick in. And I don't think people understand, Joe, that BGLD has a set amount of licenses, a set amount of tokens, but we're not set on the amount of debt partners that we continue to bring in, even inside of just that one particular project from an oil standpoint. I think we just brought on a few more partners based on some of the news. Some of Jason's, hey, Jason posted it. It was in his story.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with him too, because he cannot keep a secret. So.
It was in his stories. The only reason. So,
yep.
So what happens is we bring on more partners, that just increases the overall royalty that's coming to us, increases the burn. And so guys, again, there's a difference between price and value. Sometimes, almost always, it takes time for the price to catch up to value. And that's where you have to start asking yourself, is there a purpose here, the utility, and focusing on what we're doing as a whole to understand the potential here over the next few years. So for me, I'm not looking at this from an ROI in 30 days. I'm looking at this just like you are, Joe, from an accumulation standpoint.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is wealth isn't created overnight, right? It's a process. And yes, you can make some quick money with the rentals, and you can make some quick money by slamming people into network marketing opportunities. Doesn't matter if it's IX or other one, but I don't think anybody likes that. I don't think anybody likes to be hard closed into something and then they find out it's something else. And so I feel like, look, if we're truthful about it, the rental program is here to help people that are in maybe a disadvantaged situation, an emerging market, if you will, give them the ability to come into the debt project and start to accumulate. And if you look at just BGLD, for example, over a 30-day period, you're accumulating about 50,000 token, right? And yes, at the current price where it's at, you're about break even, positive. You're positive on what you've purchased at, right? So you're over the $250. However, if it then goes back to a penny or 2 pennies or 3 pennies, that's where it starts to really play with your mind and say, wow, if I could take $250 and then that purchase then turns into where it goes up to 5 cents because debt has now announced more partners, more royalties coming in. And I was actually smart enough to hold on to that token. It's just like anything that we've seen on any type of tech stock out there, right? Like you see Amazon crashed to, 90%. And a lot of people sold it, and now they're kicking themselves in the butt because 10 years later it's worth a lot more than they would have paid for it, right? So it's about buying and selling at the correct time. That's your decision. That's where the risk comes in, because you are the person that has to make that decision. Should I buy now? Should I sell now? And that's where it becomes a personal decision on your personal finances, on your risk appetite. Can you hold this coin for a year? Can you hold it for 2 years? That's the question you have to ask yourself. That's really the mindset you have to have coming into this thing is, could I hold this for a year and not let that, whether it's a perpetual or a rental, that dollar that went out, is it going to affect your personal finances? So,
well, and I look at, let's go back to the 2018 when Bitcoin went from 19 to 3, right? Or Ethereum lost 94% of its value. So many people panic sold at that time. And had they held on for just, 2 more years, they would have been sitting at $69,000 highs. And so, people, we sometimes get so focused on the price today. And I'll get the text messages, Joe, you probably get 10 times as many as I do, where they'll say, man, how come that G's just going down right now? It's going down. And what people have to understand is, it's a market. Markets are cyclical. Those that play the long game and they're patient, similar to that situation that I just shared, are the ones that ultimately become the victors. And so know that there's a lot going on in the world right now. It's the end of the year. Hang on one second. Got to mute somebody here. Guys, if you can mute your phone for me. Let me see. Oh, there we go. All right. Appreciate that. So just understand that it's the end of the year. You've got a lot of people, a lot of pressure right now out there because of, rates for everything are going up, prices are going up. I've had a few people that I know recently that are friends of mine that have had to cash out on tokens because they needed the money. And so anytime you sell, guys, it's going to put downward pressure on a token. Anytime there's buying happening, it's going to put upward pressure. So there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs along the way. For me, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just accumulating because I believe wholeheartedly I can already see the vision of where we're going to be in a couple of years and maybe even sooner than that. And that's what I'm excited about.
Sure.
So,
my advice on that is just two simple words: zoom out. Right.
Exactly.
It's like the price is falling, and I get that all the time. Price is falling. It's like, okay, yeah, great. It's down 10% today. But tomorrow, is it up 10% again? Is it 15%? Because the great thing about the projects that we have in with the partners and the royalties is we have a quasi liquidity provider that goes in and just is scooping up this token to then go and burn it, right? So when you see the price falling, look at it like this is a great deal for the ecosystem to be able to burn more token. They're not burning my token because I'm holding it, because I'm waiting for it to get back to a penny or 2 pennies or 5 pennies, whatever my target is. But you have to have your number in mind. And once you have your number in mind and you feel like, hey, at this number, I'm going to sell or I'm going to liquidate X percentage, well, then start doing that. But do it in a smart way. Use the scheduler. You don't want to go and try to sell, $20,000 worth of token. You'll drop the price. That's why you see those wicks on a downward pressure, because anybody can sell their token at any time that they want. That causes the downward pressure in the coin. But then, as you can see, it just bounces right back up because we have the liquidity coming into the market. Whereas if we didn't have the liquidity, that price would stay on the floor time and time. Yes, does the price go to the floor? Yes, because people are selling. But just think of it like, hey, I'm not selling my token right now, so I'm going to get a better deal on my exit.
What's the difference between genius and idiot?
Zooming out.
Just a little bit of time, folks, just a little bit of time. And if you look at Bitcoin and you look at the history over the course of the years, this point right here, I remember this point right here where everybody thought that everybody thought that it was done. And then you go up here and these guys are geniuses. And then everybody, the news again said the bubble had burst. It's over. It's over. And then we went up to here. And then this is where it went from 19 all the way down to around 3. And then it just kept going. But if you look at the trends, folks, you understand what's happening here. And that's when Joe says zoom out. That says it all right there. So any other rentals, like are all the other rentals available, Joe, right now?
Yeah, so right now we do not have grows. Grows are not available. Those are completely sold out for about another 17, 18 days. BGLD, like I said, it's low quantity throughout the week, but we do have availability. NatG, we are probably at about 25% availability. And XPLR and aluminum about the same. So we have right now we have out about 140,000 rentals in the IX community. So that's how many we sold in this month, 140,000. But I do have about 190, almost 200,000 available rentals from Debtbox right now. So we do have inventory.
And that's why I love, just so you guys know, the NatGs from an accumulation standpoint. I love that license. It's so interesting to me. It's the same concept of when Bitcoin's 69,000, everybody wants to buy. And when it's 15,000, nobody wants to buy. And I was talking to someone the other day and like, well, I don't want to rent NatG. It's down right now. And it's the same exact concept. We have this thing in our minds where we just, I don't even know how to explain it, but
I think what it is it's the fear that sets in, and a scared mind can't act. And so just like a confused mind can't act, a scared mind, you get paralyzed and thinking, am I making the right decision? I think that's what's helped me accumulate in whatever crypto it is, Bitcoin or Ethereum. Is I've always said, anytime that I feel scared to make a purchase into the crypto market, I'm just going to go ahead and do it, because it's a good sell. Anything right now in the in the crypto space, in Bitcoin, for example, in my opinion, again, anything under 20,000 is a great buy right now. It doesn't matter if it's 17 or 15, or if it drops all the way to 13 or 10, because the upside potential that you have is greater than the downside risk that you have. And so for me, that is every time that I feel scared, like, should I buy this Ethereum? Should I buy this NatG? Should I buy this debt? I just do it because I know my fear is setting in, my human nature setting in, and I will not make the money if I don't risk what I'm looking for. And I have a greater upside potential than I do a downside risk. So
beautiful. Well, listen, if you're just joining us, we're getting ready to reveal here in just a couple of minutes a very special video that is going to blow your guys' mind and help you to understand the value, or not the value, but just how special it is to be a part of what you're a part of right now at this stage. And it's just a little teaser of what's going to be announced at the event. Joe, talk to me about this event, man. So this event coming up on January 14th is just starting to really, really shape up. And, I'm hearing things like, there's going to be all kinds of supercars there that are going to have debt, logos all over them. And there's going to be the debt council there, and all kinds of new special incentives for people that are there that maybe will have access to licenses in the beginning stages that others won't. I mean, talk to me about this.
Yeah, so we're trying to make this, like I said, our kickoff event. Our US market is just kind of, obviously, Travis, with you guys coming on board, it's kind of just kicking off. There's a lot of potential we have here in the US. There's a lot of people with what's happening inside of the US economy, the stock market losing trillions of dollars, and the news doesn't publish it right now, right? They're not saying anything about that. But one of the things that we want to do is we want to get as much information in the hands of the people directly from the horse's mouth. And the horse's mouth in this sense is debt, right? And a lot of people don't have access to them. I know, Travis, you talk to Jason once in a while, but it's very hard to track him down sometimes. We were able to travel with them out to Ghana, so we had them locked down for a few weeks. We have a couple special announcements coming out. We have, we're doing a giveaway. So anybody that's out there that goes to the VIP dinner with us, you're going to be put into a drawing for some debt licenses, XPLR licenses, aluminum licenses. So we are going to be giving away. I also have, if you guys see me on screen real quick, a couple of these that I might be giving away. I did this in Barcelona because I have about 10 of these left. I'm going to need to use about 5 of them to host my own licenses, but these debt boxes, they are very, very limited quantity. This is a scarce commodity right now. And the reason you guys might have heard about, the hosting that's up and coming, we're going to be doing our own xCloud hosting through IX. Debtbox is going to be offering their V-Box, which is a virtual box, because the actual physical production of these, there's a shortage on the chips that's required to make these. And so they've had a little bit of some hiccups in there. But I believe 2023 is going to be a great year. We want to lay the roadmap for 2023 to all the people that are in the XNode Summit that are in Salt Lake City with us. We're going to be talking about some of the newer projects that are coming out. We will be launching 2 projects in January. So those are going to be exciting. We have some very, very exciting news for some of our projects that are already, that a lot of you guys are probably license holders of. So we're going to have a lot of that information and announcements go public. We're kind of holding it off right now. So there's a lot of cool things that are coming up that we want to release in that event. And we also want to get you guys the roadmap for 2023 directly from the Debt Council.
Awesome. Beautiful. I want to give a shout out to everybody over on Facebook. Cedric is in the house over on Facebook. I see Brandon Self that's over there. A lot of comments that are coming in over in the Facebook group over on debt as well. We've got a lot of people that are here on Zoom with us. Real quick, Joe. So there's a price increase that's coming. A lot of people, we've got 3 projects that are relatively new, our newest projects, 4 months old. In my opinion, these licenses are completely undervalued based on the overall performance of these projects. So we've got Grow XPLR, and we've got Explorer, and we've got Aluminum, and those prices are going to be going up 1 week from today. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, we're on the tail end of some of these projects. They're newer projects that we launched last quarter, but they're also almost sold out with Grow. I believe I have the last bit of Grow licenses available that will ever exist. Right now, we're sitting at about 800 that are currently available. And then that project is 100% sold out. Aluminum and XPLR, those are bigger projects. However, like you said, they are completely undervalued. XPLR, at the high hit about 3 cents. And a lot of people were excited when that was happening. I could tell you with the news that's coming out in one of those projects there, it'll continue to sustain that price, and if not even increase that price. Again, pure speculation on my side, but there's a lot of exciting things that have not hit the public domain yet for these projects. And so those price increases are just to show, the value in the project. And I believe, if you don't purchase them in December, the price will be going up again in January with the limited quantities that we have available. And then you can kind of wait and see. But it's like I said, the risk that you take is your entry and your exit. Your entry is what price did you buy the license at? Your exit is what price did you sell your token at, right? And that's what you have to look at in your entry and your exit. And so a lot of times, when I bought NatG, for example, I bought them at $2,000. My entry on NatG was a lot better than a lot of people within the last few months, but we still sold out of those licenses. But my entry was better. My entry was lower. So it doesn't matter where I exit on my token, because now, in my eyes, I'm making, if I'm doing a calculation, X percentage per month, and I'm happy with that percentage gain every month. So what is your entry? Get it at the better price, obviously, if you can do it. And what we're trying to do is, as well as trying to create a standard, price between Grow, Aluminum, and XPLR, because they've kind of been different prices. And I feel like all three of those are at their maturity level where they can sustain the same price. So
beautiful. I love it. Take advantage of those prices, guys. They're going to be going up. We're going to show you a video right now that may get you excited about things to come on the Explorer side of things. And Joe, I got just one more question. I got to ask you it because I've had it asked several times, but talk to me about SKUs. Just let everybody know we're working on SKUs. So everyone's wanting to know when they can get those single reorders.
Yeah. So one of the hard things about the way we run our system is we are not debt. We are not retail. We are wholesale. So we have limited quantity. My agreement with debt is, to limit the quantities, whether on rentals or perpetuals, that people can purchase, because my job is not to bring in whales. Okay. Unfortunately, if you're a whale and you want to purchase hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in licenses, and you just don't have the SKUs available in IX, we're wholesale. Okay. It's like if you go to Costco and there's a really good deal on something, and then they don't have it on, you think about it for too long and it's gone, right? Like, especially during the Christmas time, like, hey, that little bike for my kid is gone. There's no more available. There's no more in the back. There's no more stock. You're out of luck. That's wholesale. We only have a certain amount of inventory available to give to our entire IX community. And so it causes a problem with some of you guys that would like to purchase more and more and more, but there is also a reason for limiting it. So the frustration that we cause you is because we are also trying to protect the overall community. We will be introducing second and third order SKUs on some, okay, I'm gonna say that again, on some of our projects here with right before Christmas. So we will be doing that. And again, remember, as the 28 days pass, that product becomes available for purchase in your back office again. So you can purchase one product every 28 days. So if you purchased the 1X, last month, when it expires 28 days later, you'll be able to purchase it again. So you might be that you have to wait a month to purchase another product, but there is a reason behind doing it the way that we do it. So
I have the perfect solution. Just buy 2 the next time instead of 1. And all right. So you guys ready for the video? So we saw this video. First of all, we were in Africa. We were asked to come into a meeting. We had to put our phones aside so that nobody was recording. We had to swear that we would not share any information, which we haven't. Anybody that shared the information has to lose 1 month of commissions. And so this video is a video I texted Joe last night and I said, can I please just share this one little video? It's not going to give all the details away. And we had to get debt's approval. And so then I texted Jason, and some of you guys were on last night's overview. By the way, we will be posting the link to that. I think Ozzy already put it up in the Telegram chat, and I've started to see it out there. So Cass will get that last night's overview out there. But so I texted Jason, and he didn't respond for the presentation. So I'm doing the whole presentation, and when I get done, right at the very end, as I said bye to everybody, a text comes in, and Jason says, "Go ahead." And I was like, wait, everybody wait. And some of you stayed and got the chance to see this. And so I want to share this with you. To put this into perspective before I share this video. In fact, Joe, why don't you put this into perspective for us? Because talk just how big is this really what we're about to share?
Yeah, so one of the things that I've loved about these guys over at Debt is I have actually known them through my mentor, Brian Robert, for the last I believe about 4 or 5 years. And they would come over to his house, to our house, and they'd bring over bags of unrefined gold, they'd bring over uncut diamonds, they'd bring over, they'd come and they would show what's on your screen right now. So I've seen a lot of this documentation. I've seen the agreements that they've had with the Ghanaian government. I've seen a lot of these fly-throughs for the last year or so, and I've seen them refine this technology over and over again. And I think it's one of the coolest things, because if you're going out there, you're trying to explore in these concessions. And I don't know if you've ever done this before, but I've been throughout South America. I've been through Colombia looking for emeralds, because you hear a lot of these people out there like, oh, we stumbled upon the biggest emerald, and you kind of get a little bit of that, you want to go treasure hunting. But what you don't realize is how big these concessions are. So what Travis is showing on his screen right there, you can see those red lines. You can see that bigger red line, which is one concession. And then you can see that smaller red line underneath all of that yellow that's there, that Travis is circling. And those areas are hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of hectares. And it's a large area. And imagine if you're just digging in the wrong spot, you're going to get demotivated, right? If you don't start to find what you're looking for, doesn't matter if it's in business, it doesn't matter if it's in network marketing, it doesn't matter if it's in life, in dating, in relationships. If you don't find what you're looking for, you get demotivated, and your emotional intelligence goes out the window, and you start to lose money, or you start to make bad decisions. So the use of this technology has helped miners, explorers, drillers pinpoint exactly where the resource is. In this case, this is a fly through for the Gold Collective, which is our African downline content provider. Okay. And they were able to go and scan this area, like they've been able to scan multiple areas and figure out where there's higher concentrations of gold, where the veins run through. And so Travis, with that, I guess that's a good understanding. Everywhere you see yellow is where there's a vein of gold. But also look at everywhere there is not gold. Imagine if you were digging in that area and you weren't able to, know if you were, there's a book out there and a lot of these memes out there, you're 3 feet from gold. And a lot of people are just digging in the wrong spot, and they just don't know any better. And this technology helps them become more profitable, helps them find what they're looking for faster, just like we do on the network marketing side through mentorship, through coaching. They've done this through technology, and they'll continue to make it better and better and better.
Cheyenne says, looks like I need another node. Cheyenne, I haven't even showed you anything yet. So listen, what I'm about to show you really would fall under the Explorer umbrella. And up to this point, we've been doing 2D renderings, 2D, right? So you can see the elevation, the landscape of the ground. These different minerals put off different frequencies. So gold puts off a frequency, aluminum puts off a different frequency, and that's how we can read it with the scan technology that we have. But what if you could do it in 3D, Joe? What if we could now be the first in the world to bring to every exploratory company around the world the ability to be able to see exactly where that gold is, not just from the top down, but from all around. So with that, watch this. So everything you see in gold is obviously our gold veins. But what if our new technology could do this and show them exactly from every single angle, the depth, where it's at, all the way around? Do you think that this would be valuable to companies and exploratory companies that are out there? Guys, we are the first in the world to be doing this. This is tied into some very, very big announcements that will be coming in January at the event, which you need to be at. You'll understand what this is and exactly how big this is. And, SCAN, of course, supports all of our projects. So this supports all of our projects. But Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, this technology that they're seeing, this technology that's coming, has a big part of why many are predicting that debt will be $1 billion company next year. And that would fall under Explorer license. Is that correct?
That is 100% correct. There's a lot of projects out there. There's a lot of governments that are actually coming to, the debt entity, and the actual entity that owns the licensing for Explorer and the scan technology. And as you can see here through this fly through, what ends up happening is, a lot of times you can pinpoint where it is on the XY, on the map, but then you don't know how deep that is. And right now what you're seeing is any one of these yellow boxes that you have there, it's floating above the map. The reason it's floating above the map is because if you put it under the map, you wouldn't be able to see where it's at, right? So what they've done is they've taken it, they've extrapolated it out, and it's above the map, but that's showing exactly what the distance would be. But obviously in this case, it would be underground instead of above ground. So just so you guys understand a little bit, the technology that's coming through, it's now going into a 3D aspect of this, where we're able to actually get a 3D rendering based on the actual reserves that are in the ground. This is actually for DLG, for the gold projects. But this can go for oil, this can go for natural gas, and you'll start to see some of these renderings and some of this new technology that we will be announcing and talking about, the amazing partnerships and the amazing things that we have coming for XPLR. And obviously XPLR supports the entire ecosystem because it is what we base on.
Hang on.
There we go.
There we go. So we're going to wrap up here, guys, but you should see, Joe, the chat over on Facebook. So first of all, for those of you that are in the Facebook info group, many of you guys are new and you're just kind of keeping an eye on things and you're watching what's going on here at the Debtbox. You're feeling the excitement, you're seeing the excitement. But for those of you that don't know, we're the first in the world to introduce commodity-backed cryptocurrency projects. We sell mining licenses. That's all IX Global does, is we provide education. We provide software and hardware that allows you to be able to mine projects that are backed by these real world commodities that are in high demand, first in the entire world. And a lot of people want to know, is the technology real? And what we're showing you here is just one more point of validation that shows, yes, it is absolutely real. And what I can tell you, and Mike Tharp is like, dude, I'm dying to tell people what we found out in Africa. I know, Mike, I'm right there with you. What I can tell you guys is just buckle up and get ready for 2023, because you guys haven't seen anything yet. Joe, any final thoughts here before we wrap up today?
No, I just think, being one of the early adopters in this space, in crypto, in something that you feel that can be tangible. And this is all needs to be what you guys feel, right? Because the idea isn't to convince people, it's to show them what we're doing. And the model that we have, the model's been proven over and over again by some of these big tech companies, and becoming the Uber of, or the Airbnb of mining and drilling. It's not far-fetched, because we've seen it happening. Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, who would have thought that there would be this app out there where you could rent somebody's home, and that app now has properties all over the world, and they're making billions and billions of dollars. Or a transportation company that doesn't own taxis, and Uber and Lyft were able to do that. And so this is just the next phase. It's a phase where we're going to be able to go in there and get content providers all around the world, whether that's an oil or drip or any of the other projects out there, and help people around the world, because there's something special to this project, guys, not just on the creating digital rewards, but there's an impact that it can have in people's lives, on the eco-friendly side, on the jobs that we can create, on the lives that we can change in these emerging markets. And the goal of Debt and the goal of IX is to help expand this project. But the goal of Debt is to be on 6 continents within the next 2 to 3 years. The only continent that we're not going to be drilling on is probably Antarctica. But who knows, if we find something special out there, I think we'll probably go on an expedition as well. But anyways, I think there's a lot more that you guys need to investigate, that you need to understand. Do your own research, figure out if this project is for you, and get involved if that's what you're wanting to do. So with that, guys, thank you so much. Travis, thank you for the invitation as well. And I hope to see you guys out in Salt Lake City. It's going to be an amazing time.
Thank you so much. For those of you that are watching, if you can't get an Explorer license, you can rent one. Just as a reminder. In fact, if you guys see what I'm doing right now, I'm actually adding 5 more Explorer to my back office as we speak, because I'm excited about what's to come with this particular project and those as well. So listen, get your Explorer licenses before the price goes up on December 15th. And for those of you that want a piece of that, being a founding member, VIP member, a debt member, so to speak, get one of those debt licenses before they're gone as well. Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you so much. I know you're busy joining us. Guys, we'll get this video out there for you guys so that you guys can share it. Appreciate everybody. Have a wonderful day today.